Another great episode of Bering Sea Gold. We have a classic Kelly meltdown. Yeah, Emily Riedel, she's having a rough season. And we get a little check in with Vernon and his operation. We haven't seen much of Vernon really all season long, not in the summer, not so much in the winter, but he's made some upgrades to his winter mining operation, and he's brought in a new helper, Jenny. That's his main diver's sister, and he's ready to chase after that gold. He's making the gamble here. He wants to buy Claim 16, but he's going to have a big winter season in order to pay for that bid that he made. And so far, he is way behind target. That is really the story of this winter, the ice mining season right now. The only person who is even close to being on track is Pomrenke. He's doing the best as always. Shawn, he's Mr. Gold. There's a reason they call him Mr. Gold. And this ice season is really putting a stamp on that. The playing field is fairly level in ice mining season, but he's still way ahead of everybody else. All right, back to Vernon. He's making this gamble on Claim 16, and he's finally on the gold. He's got his lead diver, and it really seems to me like having the right diver makes a huge difference for dredging and mining and ice mining in general. And this is his best diver, and all of a sudden he's back on the gold. So good to see that for Vernon. I don't know if he's going to reach his lofty goals, but at least he's got a shot now that he's got Gary on the suction. All right, let's move over to Emily. She's had a rough season, ice season. She tried to go out to Claim 14 at the start of the ice season, and no bueno. Wasn't happening. There wasn't enough ice. In some areas just wasn't any ice. Jumped over to Tomcod, really totally struck out. She pulled 4 ounces out of Tomcod in 20 hours of diving, which just isn't up to par. And then now today she pays her royalties to Shawn Pomrenke, and heads back to Claim 14. There's a little bit of ice there, and they're going to go after it again. She's got 2 fairly new divers here this season, and I'm interested to see what happens when Shawn goes back to where Emily was diving to double check to see if there was any gold there. 2 divers we haven't seen before, not to say they're bad divers, but they just might not be what it takes to really get after that gold. And I'm really curious to see how this all plays out between Shawn and Emily. But anyway, she's back on 14 and ready to go after some gold. How about them Kellys? This was just Kris Kelly losing his mind for a quarter of the episode. And then what do they do? He's having a meltdown. Cut to him doing an ice mining chat about leadership. Hilarious. That was probably the highlight of the episode. Kris Kelly giving a lecture on leadership. He knows that he's not a very good leader and not much he can do to correct it. But Kris Kelly, he was trying to get everything going. Nobody would help him. Not his dad, not Andy. Just him. And then finally he gets fed up and he walks home. They're out on the ice, and he just grabs his backpack and he walks to shore, hitches a ride from some guy who just drives by, heads back into town, and he's done for the day. So Brad and Handy, they ran the ship for the rest of the day. Didn't find out how they did, but yeah. That's the Kellys. They run a little hot, and that is what we can expect from them each and every time they're on an episode. All right, that is it for this episode of Bering Sea Gold. Vernon, did the best today. He was really the only one to actually get any gold today. The Kellys, they may have got some gold, but we actually never saw. Shawn, we never saw him dive at all today. And Emily, she just packed up shop and moved to claim 14. So that's it. This is my first time recapping Bering Sea Gold. We'll see how it goes, and if I get some people out there who are interested, I'll be back again next week for the next episode. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you later.